Hello and welcome to episode 23 of the All Round Coaching podcast. In this episode, we're going to go over crash diets and quick fixes because it's become probably more apparent that people are turning to these in a little bit of hope of desperation, getting that quick fix. But obviously, at a point, there is going to be a cost, whether it be financially or for your health. So it is something I wanted to go over, and obviously, Mel saw something this week that I found quite interesting.
Yeah, it started from I can't, for the life of me, I think when you're scrolling through Instagram, you hit with all sorts of information and stats and stuff. But I think one that just resonated with me was it was something along the lines of at 18 you crash dieted, at 21 you crash dieted, at 26 you crash dieted. Basically listed off a number of key ages, key milestones. Where it certainly resonated with me. Like you naturally want to get into really good shape for your 18th birthday, for your 21st, which is ridiculous considering that you're so young at that age. And yeah, I think the main point from the post was that when does the crash dieting ever end? And I think I was certainly one for doing that in terms of trying to find a quick fix for losing weight. And obviously then once you do lose that initial weight, then getting back onto a repeat cycle, basically put the weight back on, repeat cycle, crash diet. Yeah, it's just vicious, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, I've done it, like, obviously I've been guilty of it in the past where I've done meal replacements where I'd have 2 protein shakes and 1 solid meal per day. Obviously that's a sad existence in itself, and I feel like it does do a full circle and then trends do come back around. So today I am going to reference some diets that I don't agree with. They aren't healthy and they aren't sustainable. My focus with clients is obviously I want to transform the habits and behaviours because that's what helps you not only sustain the results but sustain it as a lifestyle, not just having a diet and thinking what do I do after this. So a focus for me has always been the health, performance, confidence, and obviously more often than not the appearance comes with this anyway. Trying to do this obviously as a coach, you're up against quick fixes, what these fad diets promises, the potions or the shakes that they do, restrictive diets, and obviously the influencers that push them. So people might not look at a coach, they'll look at these quick fixes because it is glamorized, and especially on social media as well.
Yeah, and especially like you're looking at these fad diets or these crash diets and go, I lost X amount of stone in X amount of weeks. And granted, these people do, they do look a little bit more. They do look better because they've obviously lost a lot of weight. But to what detriment have they?
Yeah.
Have they gone through that transformation?
I mean, a lot of them only celebrate the scale weight wins, and that's something I've tried to move away from with clients. You aren't just a number, and your happiness isn't at the end of the number because obviously numbers are infinite. So are you going to be happier if you weigh a little bit less, or are you going to be happier the fact that you're healthier and you're looking after your health in your life for the rest of your life?
It's not just the number either. It's the, like, granted, you see that social post and how long is it taking them to get to that point? Like a month, like let's call it a month, 30 days. So that's 30 nights of being really, really restricted on that diet. And Christ knows how they've got to the end of them 30 days because it's not easy. Have they actually stuck to it? How many of those people have actually stuck to it when you see those transformations? It almost feels like hell on earth, like when you're trying to like cut back anyway, never mind to such a ridiculous dramatic drop. So yeah, naturally all you are seeing are those transformations, but you're not seeing the pain and the sadness that goes behind that.
I mean, there is a diet I want to bring up. There'll be 2 diets that I bring up, but the one that I probably researched the most maybe triggered me in a lot of ways because it doesn't give you a direct price. You have to get in touch with I don't even want to call them a consultant. You have to get in touch with a salesperson to get the price, but I worked it out where it does charge per meal, which you're looking at $240 per month, which people will pay, but it's done in stages and it's stage 1 to 6. The first stage that stood out for me, it says it's your first up to 12 weeks at 400 to 600 calories per day. Could you survive on that?
No, I can barely survive that on a lunch.
I mean, it's 1 meal. It's, what is it, a Happy Meal, if that?
Yeah, if you're lucky, but yeah, it's just, I mean, I try and aim for 400 to 500 calories on each meal.
Yeah,
Like, never mind one day.
You're getting at least 3 to 4 meals in, plus a couple of snacks as well.
Yeah.
With this being done in stages, you get 35 products, and these are from meal replacements, shakes, bars, and they've even stipulated that all the products are under 200 calories. So their fixation is they're attaching the health to low calorie foods, and obviously you're entering a keto diet, which is your low carb. You're already eliminating that food group, so naturally, yes, you're going to be in a deficit, and a deficit is where you will lose body fat. But if your deficit is so high, you're going to lose body fat at a rapid rate anyway. Like, it's not, there's no science behind it. They've just restricted calories that much that it is going to fall off you and at a rapid rate. If you are someone that's on the larger scale, is your skin going to be able to keep up with that weight loss and the elasticity of your skin? So, just not everybody's the same, and obviously it's triggered me how it's laid out, and then I'll go through the stages in a second, but just some input from you.
I think we talked briefly. I've done, or I've tried a couple of what I would call fad diets. I have tried keto. I tried it for about 2 weeks and absolutely fucking hated it. Couldn't stick to it. I did it with a friend. Both of us completely fell off quite early on. It's just not sustainable. You do get bad breath from it as well, which is absolutely delightful. So keeping Wrigley's in business. And I've also tried the paleo diet, which was off the back of my ex being a CrossFitter. So I think that kind of goes hand in hand, or it did at the time. And again, that was really restrictive in no complex carbs, no refined sugars. Just sapping the fucking ease out of everything, really. And it just wasn't. I think we lasted a month and a half on that. But I have watched my mum grow up. My mum grew up on Weight Watchers, which is more of a points based system. A lot of those kind of like ready meals and stuff. But yeah, I've seen a number of people go on different fast juice diets, slim fast, all that kind of stuff. You've seen it, been there, done that. Like, it's been around for years, hasn't it? These kind of crash diets.
Yeah, and they do keep circulating. It's just that people know, or hopefully they do know, that it is a fad diet. But if you start to eliminate food groups anyway, you're already limiting what you can eat, so you probably naturally might fall into a deficit. But how many social occasions are you going to have to say no to? How many meals are you going to be able to eat out, or go to a friend's house and have something to eat? Because you're probably going to have to say, do you know what, just hand me a plate full of dust, because that's effectively what you can have.
As if that's
on
happening.
Some of these.
As if anybody's doing that. As if.
It's just, it is the Cambridge 1-to-1 diet. It's ridiculous, and I have scrolled through, and obviously nutritionists haven't backed it because it is so restrictive. If I skip, I mean, some of them, you don't even get real meals. Like, each one, it's a diet replacement food, and you get to go up to 800 calories a day. And then obviously stage 3 is 1,000 calories. Fast forward to the end, which they've named maintenance, you're on 1,200 calories, and in brackets it says continue indefinitely. Like, I am 5'2". I couldn't continue on 1,200 calories a day indefinitely for the rest of my life to maintain my results. Mm-hmm. And if you're at a smaller body anyway, like, your demand and what you need is going to be lower. And it stipulates as soon as you start eating like a normal person again, you will put it on. So once you start putting weight on, people think, oh, I've failed now because I'm going back. But you're just eating like a normal person would.
Yeah, it's bonkers the amount of calories that you reduce to, and I don't think that's depending on what size you are or what height you are, or...
Yeah, it's not factoring like the male, female, like it's generalising it, and I know it says not one size fits all, but it's a drastic approach that it's been labelled. But if you cut calories on anything rapidly, like, anyone can slash the calories. It isn't sustainable over a long term, and obviously you're gonna get deficiencies when you're already eliminating food groups anyway. Like, you've eliminated carbs on this, that's your energy source, so your energy is going to be lower, your brain fog's going to be kicking in, and you're dependent on higher fat foods, and just obviously hopefully some protein in there as well.
Not just like, I personally, just from a functional point of view, like, from me anyway, if I'm hungry, I am hungry, I can't get it out of my head. So if I'm hungry and I'm working, I'm not focusing on my work because I'm thinking, I really need to eat, and I've done it where I think I've tried fasting in the mornings, like not eating till like 12 o'clock. Like I struggle with that just because I need that food in the morning to get me up and going and to, you know, start my energy for the day. So I find it really, really difficult I would find it really difficult to be on a diet like this, and even just to start in that first stage. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it myself where I tried fasting because you do believe that, oh, it's healthy and a lot of people are doing it now and it's a quick way to fat loss. But I was similar to you, like I'd go that long without food, I'd find myself not having that much control around food once I did eat. So I'd end up then overeating. Whereas if people start the day with a little bit of breakfast, they're less likely to overeat because they've probably hopefully included protein the first meal of the day. They're feeling more satisfied from this and cravings are lower. Whereas those people that are skipping meals, restricting themselves, they have less control, and then come night time, that's it. They end up going for the chocky bickies and more snacks and overeating, and they probably take themselves out of a diet, and that's that vicious cycle that everybody does get into.
Yeah, I've fallen into that trap for sure. Like you get it's normally, and I imagine for most people it's the same, is that once the end of the day is hit and you aren't in that fast paced world, whether you're a parent, whether you're at work, whatever your life looks like, normally at the end of the night or the end of the day, you have all that time and the dust settles, and then you go, oh, go on, then I'll raid the snack drawer. And before you know it, you've smashed half a packet of Maryland biscuits and you're regretting life's choices, like, altogether. Like, it's just not, you're just undoing all of that work that you've tried to do anyway, and you're not resenting yourself for it. And you start again and punish yourself the next day. Like, it can't be healthy for you.
Yeah, that's one thing I try to put into like clients. So nobody should feel guilt around food. Nobody should punish themselves with exercise for what they've eaten, and nobody should demonize or label foods good or bad. It's like Slimming World for me when you label food as sins, like your relationship with food's already been hindered from the start because you're seeing a food as a sin. Where if we see it as a sin, we're not associating it with good. Or I've had a sin today, or you can have so many sins. Like food isn't good or bad.
It's almost that, well, we've talked about it already, but it's the tell me that I can't do something and I want it even more. If it's a sin, then it's a bar of chocolate, then I absolutely want two or three of those. Like, it's the mindfulness, and I've certainly learnt that with you, having conversations with you over the course of 12 months. You know, it's just being a little bit more mindful about how you're feeling and recognising how you're feeling, because am I hungry because I'm genuinely hungry, or do I want that mousse because I know it's there? Like, it's just being a little bit more. And if I'm thinking about it, let's take for example, there's a chocolate mousse in the fridge, and I want it, or I'm having them feelings that, oh, I've just had my tea and I really want something sweet. Do I need that mousse? Like, and then I'll let myself sit with that for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or I'll go and have a drink of water, although that doesn't sound like amazingly fun. Like, sometimes you do just need a drink, rather than just to satiate them kind of cravings.
No, it's that delay, distract, decide, because sometimes you actually don't want it. It's just that habit of after a meal you've probably always had something sweet. And sometimes the notion can pass. I'd always say to clients, if after 10 minutes it doesn't pass, just have it and don't torture yourself with not having it. Because as soon as you start restricting yourself, you'll want it even more. Do people need to eat chocolate and overeat every day? No, because it doesn't feel like a treat. But if we have it every now and again, I think we appreciate it more and actually enjoy it, because food is there to be enjoyed.
Yeah, when I was on the paleo diet, I think we had like 1 or 2 cheat days, which was just bonkers because it just unravels everything that you do. Like, we went out and I think we were eating out every single meal of the day. Like, you'd go and get loads of shit food, like, just completely throw your body back into whatever you were trying to avoid, and it's just madness. You buy all sorts of crap, and then you start again on Monday, back on the path that you were trying to go on, and you want the stuff that you had at the weekend. It was just weird.
Really. Yeah, as soon as you put restriction in, I mean, I never say cheat meal anymore. That's like an old bodybuilder term. Or a cheat day by the sounds of what you did. Like, you're already saying cheat with foods. Like, cheat isn't a nice word. It isn't associated, like, psychologically with anything positive. So obviously having a cheat meal or a cheat day or a cheat 2 days, yes, you are going to undo it because you're overeating, and then you've already associated that food as that dirty food and you've made it feel naughty.
Yeah, and where do you go beyond that? Because I often find if you've restricted yourself just to a point where you can't think about anything else. But then once you give yourself that, then you don't want to go backwards. Like psychologically, it's just torture.
Yeah, I mean everybody, and that's what I say to clients. You've always got the permission to eat. It's just people need to be a little bit more mindful, and I think that's the track I wanted to go down. That's why I've decided to do the EIQ nutrition, where I will be able to be classed as a fully qualified nutritionist from that, but it's to help people with the relationship with food, not just a diets and restriction, because I've never wanted that. One thing I'd always say to clients is this, obviously this diet, can you sustain it for the rest of your life? And that's why I'll always say to people, you're not on a diet, it is more of a lifestyle, so focus on what you can sustain. Are you going to be able to stay in the one-to-one diet, Slimming World, Weight Watchers, Atkins, whatever the hell other diets are? None of them are sustainable. They are all quick. You will lose weight quick because obviously you're slashing calories so much, but it isn't going to be something that you can continue for the rest of your life. And it is sad that obviously people make hundreds off this. Like, I'm going to compare it with my service. Obviously, if you do the one-to-one, you're looking at least $240 per month, which is £60 per week just for the meals. If you did online coaching, that's $150, and you're getting your education and someone that actually gives a shit about you. You're not just a paycheck and, oh, I've lost a stone kind of thing, where I can post a certificate and just focus on your actual win being a number on a scale. Like, it is to educate people and help them more. And it's an uphill battle when you've got one-to-one diets and all this shite coming out.
Yeah, and with something like that, the Cambridge one, you don't get that level of understanding within, you know, the actual fitness side of it. It's just pure food, isn't it? All inverted commas food. Like,
yeah, I mean, it does say, can we exercise on this plan? And they don't actually promote exercise. They say, well, you can have a little walk or do whatever exercise you feel up to. Well, you're not going to have the fucking energy in the first stage because you're on 0 calories pretty much.
Yeah.
So they're not even promoting exercise, and obviously as a longevity and a point of view as you're getting older, you don't want to neglect exercise, so it's backwards. It isn't a health focused diet, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I know this probably will ruffle a few feathers for people that may be doing it, or the consultants that are selling it. Like, it is sales. It isn't helping anyone, and it's never gonna be sustainable for anyone. So yes, I'm probably passionately ranting about this because it has annoyed me, and I think it's sad when I see people that may be on it, or people that I know it's not going to help anyone's relationship with food that is on it. So it's never something I'd back or approve of.
Yeah, I mean, credit where there are positives in some senses to, I suppose, educating people on nutrition. I've always been an advocate because I've done it. Is the body coach, the Lean in 15 stuff, where he has credit to Joe Wicks, so whether you like him or not, like, because he is irritating, he has actually kind of helped a lot of people understand that food isn't. It's not a discipline. It's a way of life. Like,
yeah, and it's to be enjoyed. Like, it's nice, and like socially, and I mean, I love feeding you, and you like feeding me. Imagine me coming home and handing you a sachet and saying, "This is what we're having for dinner."
yeah, sit down, honey. Let's get some water in a glass and give it a stir. Bottoms up. Like, no, it just doesn't work. And even like I said, I grew up with my mum, and she had Weight Watchers meals, and they're just that lacking in any sort of nutrients that you just feel hungry straight away. You don't feel full. Don't feel full from them. Don't feel like you've had a good meal.
No, but if anyone, obviously I have ranted on this, if anyone takes anything away from today, just ask yourself, will this diet be for the rest of your life, and can you sustain it? Or do you want to actually be educated and join a team that wants to see you win? Because you aren't going to get that with someone that has signed up to be a consultant to sell you something. I pride myself on what I invest back into my education, and it'll always be to help people further, not just take money from people, because obviously I know the Cambridge consultants probably earn tenfolds of what I do, but how many lives have they probably made shitter, in my opinion?
No, it's how many people have actually maintained that. Like, your aim is to keep people and educate them in a point where they don't really need you anymore. Like, you take them stabilizers away, and then they're set for life is the aim, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think I pride myself on that because a lot of clients that aren't with me now have kept it up. Obviously, I still see them training. They've kept it off. Like, it's been the best thing they've ever done, and they saw it as an investment in themselves. So that's a job well done. Like, clients aren't with me forever, but I want them to carry on long after I've gone, or long after they've left me even, because obviously I'm still here. But it's I want to educate people and tell them it's a lifestyle. So I will say that obviously what we're doing now is for the rest of your life. Like, you don't get to keep what you don't work for. So work on the relationship with food, exercise for your health, not to punish your body. And people just need to think about that rather than how can I get there quicker. Because it is going to cost you more, like financially and for your health, and that's not what it's about.
No, not at all.
So I will leave it there for today. I've had a little rant. But if anybody does, even just any questions, or they want to know what's the best option for them, they can get in touch. And obviously if anyone does want coaching or any education around nutrition, just drop me a message, or you can visit the website, which I'll drop the link into the podcast. Any feedback or any questions is welcome for me and Mel, and we will be back next week.
Yeah, we'll try and bring a little bit more. We were aware the last few episodes will have been a bit more intense, so we'll try and bring a bit more light.
I know we've actually been serious and like adults.
Yeah,
it's
we're
weird.
not. Believe it or not, we're actually not this serious in real life. We'll be honest, we are going away next week, which we are kind of banking some episodes.
Yeah, so these episodes have been recorded beforehand because we wanted to get the message out, and then I didn't want to forget what I wanted to put into the podcasts anyway.
And it's just having that consistency to make sure that we're putting out one a week as
Yeah,
well.
we want to deliver value to you guys and make sure you actually gain something from these. Even if it only helps one or two people, it's one or two people more.
So by the next time we're recording a podcast, we'll have had our holiday, and hopefully
we'll have some stories to tell.
So yeah, it'll hopefully be a little bit more light-hearted and probably a little bit more life-based, which I think a lot of yous like listening to.
Yeah,
so.
People always like a story, so we will be back next week with a story.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll see you later.